Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Performance E-Streaming. It's Sunday night, and that means only one thing. It's time for the My Private Cellar's Australasian Supercar eSeries. And no, your eyes do not deceive you. We are on a proper racetrack. We are here at Watkins, Glen. Yes, we are at the Glen, New York State tonight for a fantastic race. We are looking forward to this one for round number 6 of the season. I'm as ever Mr. Carl Wilkinson with you. Joining me up here in the booth, I have Mr. Matthew Hunter. Matt, how you going, mate?
Yeah, going good. Yep, looking forward to this one.
Absolutely, a track that is favoured by, well, most of us up here in the booth constantly for Performance E-Streaming, a track we adore even if we're not that good on it. So looking at the track quickly, 23 degrees air temperature, 24 degree track temperature. That's going to cause a little bit of heat, and we are about to start the gridding up process. So we will quickly get underway here tonight. Of course, running on some racetracks this season, a little bit different. We started off with Phillip Island earlier in the season. Tonight we are here at the Glen, and it looks like we might even get a formation lap, actually. Let's see. Oh no, they're lining up on the grid itself. So we'll quickly run through the starting grid. It's Craig Roffey and Cade Donnelly taking out the front row. Andy Barber and Darren McKenzie for Southern Stars on row 2. Gary Wellman, Shane Roffey on row number 3. Greg Spencer, Tom Pritchard on row 4. Adam Malone, Troy Davidson on row number 5, Kim Roffey, Marty Mitchell on row number 6. Row number 7, we've got Todd Maxfield and Chris Finlay. Row number 8 is Peter Madison, Aidan Schultz, Justin Whitcher, Tristan Koch make up row number 9. Row number 10 is Joshua Maynard with Andrew Carr. Tim Blundell, Noddy Tompkins will make up row 11. Then Brian Blundell, Adam Ariel, Shay Mello will make up the rest of the pack. So we will be getting racing very, very shortly here as they line up on the grid. No formation lap, of course, so we won't get caught out like last time.
Yeah, we should hear the revs rise, and that's when we'll know we're good to go.
Yeah, we'll keep our ears ready for that. So about 40 seconds until the kickoff of the race tonight. Keep an eye on the front row because we've got the track specialists out there tonight, and look, we should be treated to some great racing. Watkins Glen, really, really fun track. It's going to be a 40-minute race, so it will mean that they'll need to come down the lane for some fuel at some stage. So they'll need to come in for a quick splash of fuel as the fuel tanks are set, so they can't make it on one tank. And of course, a little quick change of tyres. So, going to get ready for the start here, watching the flag marshal as we get ready for this round number 6 of season 7. Cars are starting to rev up, and we're about to go green here at Watkins Glen. And away we go. Nice start from Craig Roffey, has it under control. Kate Donnelly gets caught out with wheel spin in the background. Cars spreading out across the track as they go down towards turn number 1. Are they going to make it through the corner safe and sound? Looks like the majority of the cars have made it through. Nobody's gone around. Great start from everybody, but now up to the S's. Always tricky here at the start of the race, especially going side by side. Will we get through without incident? Looking like it throughout the pack. Just keep an eye on both of my screens to make sure as they do make it through. Up the tricky S's on the first lap. And we are green, 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 and away we go. And it's Craig Roffey, Andy Barber, Shane Roffey, Greg Spencer, Darren McKenzie, our top 5. Gary Wellman moving up there quickly into 6th position as they race down to the outer loop for the first time tonight. Turn number 5 towards the chute. Of course, we're racing the boot tonight, which means the extra bit of track. All of these corners will be tricky on cold tyres and, of course, cold brakes. Not making things easy in these early stages as there is a car that's gone around in the background. Who was that? Just having a quick look, see back there. I think it might be Marty Mitchell that's gone around and got into the wall and got him back underway. But we'll keep our eyes on the rest of the pack and go back to that replay in a little bit. As it is Craig Roffey in the lead at the moment as we're coming up towards completing our first lap here at Watkins Glen. As Noddy Tompkins has a big moment going through turn number 9. Tricky corner. Very hard left-hander that catches a lot of people out, ourselves included in that one. We were talking before the race just how tricky that corner is. And it is a place that catches myself and Matt out when we're driving here often as well, as we get the first lap underway, and it is Roffey, Barber, Shane Roffey, Greg Spencer, Gary Wellman. That's our top 5 at the moment. Aidan Schultz has a big moment coming out of the first corner, and he has gone around. He'd moved up a good lot of positions, but that mistake has cost him dearly. He's going to have to wait for the whole pack to pass. And also Joshua Maynard as well, having a big moment up the S's. Let's look at these replays now, see what happened here, as Aidan Schultz looks to have beached it there, unfortunately. Was there contact? Let's see, going into the corner. Just gets a little bit wide, gets a little bit too hungry on that ripple strip. Justin Whitcher just avoids that by the narrowest of margins, and that was a big accident there for Schultz, and he's going to be kicking himself for that one. Had a really good run at the last road race we did. As my brain just went, Phillip Island. There we go. My brain's kicked in. Yeah.
We should be seeing the Mitchell one on lap 1. So I think this was on the entry into the boot.
So just 2 by 2, just goes wide, and back end's going to step out there, as it really not much grip out in that section of the track. Goes around in front of Tristan Koch and one of the other drivers there, and just squeaks through, but unfortunately he goes into the wall. Big moment there, and luckily nobody else really getting caught up in that one.
No, we've seen a number of drivers do a really good job of just avoiding a few spinning cars and saying that in the background. I can see there's a little bit going on here. I think that was Shane Roffey. I'll jump back and have a quick look at that actually. Yeah,
Shane Roffey, they're getting just a little bit of a moment going into the first corner, going really hard on the outside of Gary Wellman. Wellman locks up, makes contact with Roffey, and well, great job of saving it there. But that's left Shane Roffey really vulnerable to the rest of those Southern Stars cars. As we go back to live action here, you can see Darren McKenzie's made the move, and Tom Pritchard is all over the back of him now, really putting the pressure on to Shane Roffey. He's up in the top 5 at the moment, and that's really crucial for Rogue Sim Sports and their championship standings as well at the moment. They are in a tight battle with the other teams. They're currently sitting 4th in the championship on 150 points, but they would love to close up the gap to Pinnacle Esports, who sit in 3rd position, Southern Stars in 2nd, and leading the Sim Boys with 184 at the moment. They would dearly love to close that gap, I am sure, and they've been having a good season, especially with one of their drivers out with shoulder issues. So we wish them all the best, and hopefully see him back in the car in the very near future and back out on track. Meanwhile, Craig Roffey is in the lead. I'd say it's not a huge surprise given Craig's performance last time we were on the tracks that turn left and right. But Andy Barber is putting him under enormous pressure at the moment. Only 0.7 of a second between those two cars. Really applying the pressure to the leader, not letting him run away this time.
No, and the front two have had a good opportunity to clear out a little bit and build themselves a good 3.5 second buffer to the 3rd car of Gary Wellman, who, as we saw a little bit earlier, has been battling a bit of traffic, and so slowing them down a little bit. But yeah, front two have taken really benefit from that and slipped away.
Absolutely, and you can see Kate Donnelly's dropped right down the order, unfortunately, down into 9th position. Really poor start for Cade. Had a huge amount of wheel spin and really dropped back. Meanwhile, Peter Madison is on a flyer as he gets past Justin Whitcher into the loop they go. And nice move there from Peter Madison. He was one of those cars that had to take a little bit of avoiding action, and Todd Maxfield follows him to perfection. As Justin Whitcher is sent offline, Maxfield just goes, no, I'll take that spot, as they head down towards the chute, turn number 6, and weave their way through the corners.
Yeah, it was good move there by Maxfield. The door was opened and he put the car there to follow through.
Taking those opportunities where they appear, always a crucial thing in racing. And look, taking advantage of that is such a good idea. It's a real close fight, actually. Everybody is still very close to each other. There's not really huge gaps appearing. Bit of a fight going on, as you can see. Kate Donnelly going down the inside of Kim Roffey there as they head towards turns number 10, down towards turn 11 at the final corner. And Roffey positioned the car perfectly. Donnelly, big snap into the wall and makes contact there. Big accident, unfortunately, Kate Donnelly. And was that Adam Malone? I didn't quite see the second car involved in that one. Big unfortunate moment there, as you just see, Kate's just tried to go up and under, tried to go take a tighter line, and it's really cost him as he's made contact with the wall, and another car's collected him there. It's one of the Sim boys,
Davidson.
And it is Troy Davidson, yeah.
And Donnelly wasted no time realising that he was sitting in a very dangerous spot there on corner exit. He wasted no time getting a tow and removing that car from the scene. You see there, wasted no time at all.
A very honourable thing to do in that respect, because that could have caused some nasty accidents to some other competitors. And I think he knew he had taken a lot of damage there, and it was going to be a lot of repairs needed to get that car back out on track. He's just going to be hoping he's not done too much damage to his teammate Troy Davidson, who's also in the lane getting some major repairs done.
Yeah, that would have been a bit of a nightmare situation, that one, because just where he was sitting was the perfect exit right on the racing line. So, yeah, you could have potentially seen a number of drivers exiting that corner and piling into it. But did a really good job getting out of everyone's way there.
Absolutely. A big moment for the 897 of Andrew Carr. He's had a huge moment going into the chute and down towards the boot, and real lot of damage on the front of that car. Let's see if we can catch the replay here and find out exactly what's happened. And just got a bit wide. Back end has stepped out. We've seen that a couple of times tonight. And again, it bites hard. Really tough corner if you go wide there. You just
and again,
hemorrhage
come back live, and he's really struggling with those red tyres. He might have overheated them a little bit, and when he's putting the foot down to get out of the corner, he's really lighting the tyres up.
Yeah, that's going to be a nightmare, and you might want to actually just bring it into the lane and sort of make his fuel stop and get some fresh tyres and a little bit of repairing done on that thing. We still have 30 minutes of racing left, so still a fair bit of action to come here. But it's been a painful start for a few drivers, unfortunately, and 12 the Sim boys. As Kobe Jordan just mentioned in the comments. How are you doing, Kobe? Shame to not see you on track, but indeed a little bit of blue on blue, team on team contact. So that's going to make the debriefing very awkward later on, I'm sure. Kate's going to have to buy a round of drinks. That's going to be an expensive mistake.
Now that was interesting. We just cut to the shot of Roffey there live, and he was lining up the tyres a little bit on corner exit too. So even the race leader's starting to really struggle with that tyre grip on the back there.
Yeah, the tyre fall off is quite quick here. I did a few laps before jumping into the booth, just to get a bit of an idea of roughly what's going on. They weren't exactly fast, but the tyres do fall off quite quickly here, and the rear tyres absolutely go up very quickly, and that can be very hard. Darren McKenzie's in the lane. Darren McKenzie has brought his car into the pit lane. The 02 is coming into the pits and making a stop. So we've got our first car down pit lane for, normal service. So Darren McKenzie pulling it in here on... where's my lap counter? Lap 7. So coming in nice and early, and he should be able to make it home from here. Let's just hope that isn't a issue for Darren and he can get back out on track, and he does. Meanwhile, we might jump up to his teammate, the 91 of Tom Pritchard, who's making a beautiful move on Shane Roffey and moving himself up the orange flavoured cars of the team, battling it out on track. And now Roffey's coming back at Pritchard, trying to make the move down the inside here. Got a good switchback, but Pritchard's got a very good position at the moment, takes advantage of that, sweeps into the corner, and will get a better exit here and get himself ahead of Shane Roffey.
I wonder if with 7 laps done and our prediction being our software predicting 17 laps to go. It is a 40-minute timed race, but yeah, the software's predicted 17 laps at the pace that they're doing. I wonder if Darren's going for a 2-stop strategy with that tyre fall off. Although, having a look at the best lap times compared to the times they're doing now, there's only a second's worth of difference at the moment. So maybe it is 1 stop to the end.
Yeah, maybe he's decided to bring it in early and try get some clean air. He's sort of got a couple of cars around him at the moment, but he's sort of running slightly in cleaner air, so he could be trying something a bit different out there. As Tim Blundell is having a good battle with Brian Blundell and Aidan Schultz at the moment. Brian Blundell running really, really wide through the first corner, and a little bit of head and shoulder between himself and Aidan Schultz there. And they make it through and get themselves moving along. Aidan Schultz sweeps his way through eventually and moves himself up into 17th position.
Yeah, Aidan's on the recovery mission after that early spin. So far, so good. I think he'll be probably looking at getting into the top 10 if he could, if this race keeps playing out like it is.
Yeah, he will definitely be wanting to try at least top 10 tonight. He does like road courses, and he is quick on them as well. And look, he's also got a win under his belt this season too. He'd love to try and get another podium tonight, or at least a decent top 10 finish. It's going to be a lot harder after that accident he had, but he will try his best, I am sure. Meanwhile, we're looking at Darren McKenzie siving his way through the field. He's just got past Kim Roffey?
No, Marty Mitchell, that one.
Oh, sorry, Marty Mitchell. There we go. Yep. Too many similar-looking cars at the moment. It depends on which screen I'm glancing at sometimes. They're a little bit smaller and trickier to see. So, siving his way through the field. And now Darren's got a nice bit of clean air. He can take advantage of that and move himself up the order a little bit. He can try and get a little bit of the undercut going and hope that it works out for him. Of course, he will be seeing what he can do here for the rest of the race. Kim Roffey has pulled it into pit lane. So we've got another car coming into the lane here and deciding to make their stop for the, their final stop, you've got to say, for the race.
Well, I actually think it might be a splash because Darren's stationary time in the box was 12.5 seconds. So that would say to me that's fuel only, that's not tyres. So if they're confident, I don't think they'll be confident they'll make the whole race on a set of tyres. So maybe, I know that the fuel is limited on the tank, so maybe they do have to take sort of 2 stops, maybe 1 for tyres and 1 for a splash.
Yeah, that's 16 seconds there for Kim Roffey. So
that's a fuel only stop as well, yeah.
Yeah, we were sort of almost at half race distance as well, so it'd be interesting to see what they do from here. They might be confident to take the tyres to the end, but you got to say by the end of the run they're going to be running almost on. They're going to be running on some very depleted tyres. They're not going to be nearly as fun as they were at the start of their stint.
No, yeah. I have to see. I mean, the drop-off time is only a second at the front for the leaders. So, yeah, just not sure. We'll have to see how it plays out. We're just as guessing and assuming as much as what everybody else is. And the leaders are in.
Andy Barber using all he could for advantage there. Absolutely breaking at the last minute. Craig Roffey taking a much more subtle approach to the lane. And I wonder if this is if fuel mileage was off a little bit because they're all coming in similar time. Tom Pritchard stayed out there. But I wonder if they need to make another stop because that will be interesting if they do. So yeah, it could be a 2-stop race from here, but we'll see how people go. Tom Pritchard, Justin Whitcher, Peter Matson sticking it out at the moment. But I'll keep an eye on what people are up to around the other part of the track. Chris Finlay decides to stick it out with Joshua Maynard. But everybody else is really peeling into the pits, and that tells me usually everybody coming in at the same time indicates that they're coming in because they are running on vapours.
And just thinking back to the Phillip Island race as well, that was a 2-stopper as well. That required just a splash for fuel as well. So I think with the way it is set up, maybe they've done 10 laps of running, so maybe they can only do 10 laps on a tank of fuel.
Yeah, but we did see, I'm trying to think who it was now. Somebody managed to extend their stint and just do a single stop, but it was a bit tricky. So
I think it was Christopher Finlay, was it?
I think so.
Might have been. But he ran out.
Yes.
We think he had to come in on a splash on the last lap, though, didn't we?
Yes,
So
he did. Yeah,
didn't quite
that's
make
right.
it. So yeah, if you were not wanting to fuel save, if you just wanted to go for it the whole race, then you'd most definitely need a splash.
As out on track is Craig Rothie again, and he's just getting past Joshua Maynard at the moment, who hasn't come into the lane. Maynard's gone into the wall. 161 there, losing it. Just going up a little bit high, got caught offline, and again, it's just biting. As soon as you get offline here, it is really tricky.
I don't think anybody else got into him. Just on his own. Tank slaps the wall, back into it.
Yeah, it's that just running that little bit offline and again just catching somebody out. Pritchard, Whitcher, Matson into the lane with Chris Finlay. So everybody bar Joshua Maynard, Tim Blundell, Brian Blundell, and Adam Ariel have made their stops. But it looks like everybody is going to have to make at least one more stop. But these guys will make a much shorter stop at the end. They'll only need a thimble full of fuel to get them across the line. It will be very minimum indeed. Meanwhile, up the front, Craig Rothie in the lead ahead of Andy Barber as they go past Troy Davidson there, putting him down a lap after his getting caught up with his teammate earlier on in the race. Unfortunate for Troy, he was in the wrong place, wrong time there as Cade lost the rear. But Andy Barber has lost about 2 seconds to Craig in this run, so falling back a tiny bit. But I wonder what Andy Barber, Darren McKenzie can do now. Darren McKenzie's moved himself back into third position. He was the first car to come into the lane, remember? So wonder when McKenzie will decide to pull the trigger. Will he come in for a nice early stop, try and get some clean air again, see if he can jump Craig Rothie, or if not. And we've also got this from Aidan Schultz.
Yeah, I see Aidan Schultz has retired the car, and we were watching him and he was charging through the field, and then all of a sudden I've just checked the data and he's retired the car. So I'm just trying to have a look and see if we can find out what happened to him.
Back end has stepped out, and
he's had enough.
He's towed it back. Yeah.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah, I understand that feeling oh so well.
Had enough. Spun out a couple of times, and yeah.
Yeah, and of course, when you have those spins and those moments, and especially locking up and spins, they wear the tyres out more. And if this is going to be a race where nobody changes tyres, you're going to be leaving yourself at a huge disadvantage coming in for a tyre stop. So, you know, it's almost to that point where you just go, well, that's it. I'm just going to go and have a beer.
Yeah, and especially given he had that early spin as well, so he was on, you know, he was pushing pretty hard to try and recover and make up the time that he already lost. And then he's obviously, I saw that he had an incident before as well on the data. The car was looking a little bit roughed up, so yeah, he's had another one. So a couple of laps and decided, nah, I've had enough. I'm out.
And if you've ever driven racing cars in Sims, you understand that feeling oh so well. So Tim Blundell, Brian Blundell, both coming into the lane for their stop. They made it 11 laps into that stint. They've got 11 laps remaining on my timing screen, so they might be able to do this one on a single stop. So it looks like they've been running to fuel mileage, and they might be trying for a one stop at this race. So they could be trying something a little bit different. So we'll keep an eye on those two cars for the final part of the race. And look, if they can manage a single stop, they might be able to jump themselves up a good couple of positions here.
They could do, yeah. If everybody else has to pit and these guys can make it to the end, it'd be a win-win for them.
It's just how much time you lose by the fuel saving, and how much time you can get away, and you don't really want to be running over that yellow line and finding yourself with penalties as well. So it's going to be a trickier one for Brian Blundell, because he's going to find himself probably with a drive-through penalty, I'd say, after crossing the yellow line there on pit exit. So he's going to be finding himself needing to come down the lane one more time. But will Tim Blundell be able to make it on a single tank of gas? So we'll keep an eye on that little battle as it goes on. Up the front, Craig Roffey still in the lead, and he's being chased down by Andy Barber, Darren McKenzie, Gary Wellman, and then Shane Roffey as well. So good stop from Shane Roffey. He managed to jump Tom Pritchard in that one. We saw them two battling it out on track as well. So nice run so far from Shane Roffey inside the top 5 as well, as Justin Whitcher's having a good battle too. Just keeping an eye on the different screens at the moment as Darren McKenzie makes a move up into P2.
I think Barber pinched the brake a little bit there. There was a little bit of smoke as we changed camera. I think Andy might have just locked the tyre there and allowed Darren to come through.
He did indeed. He ran really wide going through the chute, through turn 6, got out onto those marbles and did not lose it into the wall. Luckily for him, he sort of saved his race. That could have been a nasty incident. We've seen a few cars pitch into the wall there after running wide. So he survived that one, but it did mean his teammate Darren McKenzie squeezed his way through up into P2, and now he's going to try and chase down Craig Roffey, who probably was the odds-on favourite for tonight's race, despite it not being his favourite track.
Yeah, I think given how impressive he was at Phillip Island, he was definitely the odds-on favourite. We're just hoping to see if there was somebody else who could take the fight to him. At this stage, no one yet, but Darren, depending on this different strategy that Darren's potentially running, could play out that, turns his way.
See how this pans out as it goes along. Darren McKenzie's car will be a bit lighter here as well, because of his different fuel strategies. So he should be a little bit quicker, but he'll have to come in the lane a little bit sooner as well. So, yeah, keep an eye on that battle as they are battling it out on track. And it's some really good driving tonight so far. We've not seen any big accidents, touch wood, fingers crossed. No big moments when people have been overtaking each other. And it's really good to see that on the road courses, because there's a very different style of racing as we see here. Justin Whitcher battling it out with Peter Madison. Madison putting Whitcher all under pressure, and Whitcher not braking at the moment. The Whitcher Electrix Pinnacle Esports entry is doing a great job of sticking ahead of Peter Madison at the moment, and keeping himself inside of the top 10. This is a battle for 9th and 10th at the moment, so crucial spots for these drivers.
Yeah, every time we jump back to these, to have a look at these guys, so they're always right on top of each other. And I think the last time we saw Matson was ahead of Whitcher, and they're all reversed. Positions are reversed this time, but they're sticking to each other like glue and racing each other all race.
Meanwhile, Andy Barber's made another mistake, I think. He's lost a little bit of time, and he's lost a position to Gary Wellman. Wellman doing a beautiful job of forcing Barber out wide and getting past him, and Barber's decided to pull it into the lane with McKenzie.
Yeah, so this is definite strategy with 9 laps to go. Should be able to make it home from here. I expect them to put on the fresh set of tyres and fuel up, obviously, to make it to the end, and then really start flying.
Absolutely. Or do you want to risk just going fuel only and saving yourself a whole heap of time in the lane? I mean, there's a lot of different strategies to play with here, but we'll see which ones they go for. They're stationary for a fairly long time, 15, 16 seconds for McKenzie, and Andy Barber about 11 seconds. So I reckon that... Oh! Andy Barber's had a huge moment on the exit of pit lane. He's had contact with Noddy Tompkins. Noddy Tompkins has made contact with Andy Barber, and that is a disaster. That is a real bad moment there. What has happened here? Oh, Tompkins just got loose. He just got loose on the exit of turn 1, and he was trying to recover, just use the pit exit as his way of recovering. Didn't realise there was a car coming out the lane, made contact with Barber, and that is race done for Andy Barber.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. That is crazy.
That's just really bad luck there. I must say I'm surprised it didn't happen to Darren McKenzie. He's usually the
Yeah.
7 stars car that has all the bad luck whenever it happens. But Andy Barber, that was just so unfortunate. It was just such a little mistake by Tompkins. Watch, he just goes in here, the back end steps out on him, and he's trying to recover, and unfortunately, car's just exiting the lane exactly as that mistake happens. Oh, that's really just, what can you say in a situation like that?
Yeah. I mean, the Tompkins spin is very, looks exactly pretty much what happened to Aiden Schultz earlier, the same sort of type of spin, but, yeah, Andy just wrong place, wrong time, that's so unlucky.
He's managed to stay out on track. He's lost a bit of time, obviously, to his teammate, so he's still out circulating. So it's not race over, but it's an unfortunate one. That's taken him out of contention for a podium, you've got to say.
I think so, and Darren got balked a little bit too on exit, so I wonder if that'll cost him a few seconds as well. He basically had to wait for Barber to sort of spin clear, otherwise he would have had to sort of cut the exit of pit lane, and if you do that you pick up a penalty, so he had to sort of just slow down for a bit and let Barber's spinning car get out of the way to be able to come through.
Well, drama has struck at those moments, and that's really affected the drivers that were battling it out to try and take this man on, Shane Roffey. Sorry, Craig Roffey even. Wrong Roffey there for a moment. Craig Roffey, who is, he's got a solid lead at the moment as Gary Wellman pulls it into pit lane. I think this is going to be interesting to see where Wellman comes out compared to McKenzie and Barber, because these guys were fighting really hard coming into the pit stops, and we'll see how much time those two 7 Stars cars lost once Wellman is back out on track. Kim Roffey just coming in behind him as well. But we're getting our second set of pit stops done here tonight. 10 minutes remaining, so it's a nice short sprint race on this evening where the New Zealand clocks change. So very good news for the Kiwis. They get to go to bed a little bit earlier.
No, we go to bed a little bit later compared to you at the moment.
Oh, a little bit earlier compared to a normal race, though.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
I'm just guessing, but from those stationary time numbers, I don't think anyone's taking tyres.
No, does not look like it. So Wellman's pulled out. He's got a good 3 second lead over Darren McKenzie. You can see on screen there. That's how much time Darren McKenzie lost when he got balked from the pit exit. And of course, Andy Barber lost even more time than that. So that was disastrous for those two cars. That's really, really hurt their race. And look, again, Southern Stars, if they didn't have bad luck, they wouldn't have any luck at all.
No, we usually see one of them every week sort of getting caught up in a really unlucky situation.
Still should be on for hopefully a top 10 finish here. Hopefully there's not any cooling damage to the number 5, and he will be able to get to the end of this race with at least a fairly okay finish, as we see Tompkins just making room for some cars that are just going past him, putting them down a lap there. And I'm sure Andy Barber will just be going, oh, what could have been? What could have been?
Yeah. Tompkins maybe just doing the smart thing there and giving him a wide berth.
Into the lane goes Justin Whitcher and Peter Matson. Those two absolutely hot on the heels with each other. That battle is one to watch for the race finish, because these two have been knocking on each other's doors lap after lap after lap, really fighting hard tonight. And but they've put on a really good show with each other. Some really good racing out there, as we said, some different battles. And was that Matson just running a little bit wide in his pit box?
It was, yeah, a little bit too far forward. He had to come back a bit. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. You see how close he was to Whitcher on entry, and it's up a little bit of gap on exit.
Yeah, that really, really hurt. And look, in a race like this where it is so close, you cannot afford any little mistake. It is just a tiny mistake like that can cost you a huge amount of time. It is such a punishing thing to happen. So Pino Matson there's going to be kicking himself, and hopefully he's going to be hoping that he can close that gap up in about 7 minutes to the back of Justin Whitcher, and see what he can do in this race, and see what he can do in this fight for the top 10 positions. Craig Roffey's coming into the lane now. The leader is pitting. So final pit stop here for Roffey, and he's going to be chucking it in, chucking a little bit of fuel in the car and getting back out on track. I think, just looking at tyres, I think maybe Adam Ariel may have just had some repairs done, or possibly taken some tyres. So I think one driver at least may have decided to take tyres. So it's very much a race of fuel tonight. And Tom Pritchard takes the lead, and that will get him a little bit of a bonus point as he comes flying through, extends his stint a little bit. He's done about 8 laps on this one. But he'll be able to get at least a bonus point for tonight, and that could be crucial in the team championship.
Yeah, they all need every point they can get.
Yeah, it's all close action, and we'll quickly as we've got maybe a little bit of a lull, I'll just quickly go through the standings. It's Gary Wellman currently leading ahead of Craig Roffey. So it's a fairly healthy lead actually for Wellman. He's on 173 points ahead of Craig Roffey with 138. Then Chris Finley in third. Fourth is Justin Whitcher. Fifth is Andy Barber, and that's going to be even more of a sting for Andy because he's sitting fifth in the championship. Tim Roffey sits in sixth spot. Todd Maxfield seventh. Eighth for Greg Spencer. Kate Donnelly, a poor night for him as well. He's going to be down in ninth position. He's going to lose a position to Darren McKenzie for sure in 10th. So, just over 5 minutes to go, and still plenty of action on track, and plenty of little battles going on as we look at Chris Finlay here. He's battling it out with Shane Roffey at the moment. Chris has not taken his pit stop yet, so he'll have to come down the lane unless he's managed to hide some fuel up his sleeves somewhere. Meanwhile, Justin Whitcher and Kim Roffey go sailing past Andy Barber, who just wasn't able to fight. But Justin Whitcher has decided to try and make a bit of a move on Kim Roffey there, as he's no longer got to look in his mirrors, as he's no longer got to worry about Peter Madsen. He's able to go on the attack, and he is putting Kim Roffey all under pressure at the moment. This is for 8th and 9th position, and one of the closest battles on track.
Yeah, which has really come on to that last pit stop. Sort of cleared out from Matson now and looking to pick up more positions. There's Finlay's in the pits as well, I believe. Yeah,
Finlay's just decided to come in. Could not extend any further. Good exit there from Whitcher. Up the S's they go. Not a great place to overtake. Whitcher does it though. Beautiful move. Going through the first sweeping S up the hill. And Whitcher, that was an absolutely beautiful overtake there. Really nicely done. Kim Roffey being very, very polite there as well, because he could have really, really stuck to that line and made it a lot harder for both of them. But a wise decision to not fight it too hard, because that usually ends up in a nasty accident.
Yeah, lots of racing room given there between the two of them. Which is not a bad thing to do, coming up the S's.
Not at all. Greg Spencer, he's been a quiet man this evening. He's currently up in 6th position in my Private Cellar entered Pinnacle car. He's ahead of his teammate there. You can see Justin Whitcher in the background. Greg Spencer up in 6th position at the moment. He's going to be pretty chuffed with that one. A solid night for the team. If they can keep in those positions, I'm sure they'll be happy with those results here at the Glen. Meanwhile, if we were worried about tyres dropping off, we shouldn't be, because Craig Roffey has just set the fastest lap of the race, a 43.9. First car in the 43s tonight, absolutely blitzing it out there, almost over half a second faster than pretty much anybody else. So really, really on a flyer now. I think he started to get a little bit more comfortable in that car and on this track.
So yeah, saving it till the end. Saving a little bit of tyre to the end. Now it's time to, if you got it, use it.
Take advantage of it while you can. There's no point in having any tyres left once you come into pit lane. Just keeping an eye on some of the other drivers that are trying something different. Joshua Maynard went for a longer stint, but he's had to pull it into pit lane. Couldn't make it to the end. But Tim Blundell, he could possibly make it on a single stop. So Blundell could be in with a shout here of making up a few positions on strategy. Driving to his pace laps, doing a good job out there, the 81. Unfortunately, Brian Blundell, the 75, could not join him as he got a drive-through penalty. So unfortunate there, but we'll keep an eye on that one and see how it unfolds. Good battle for fourth position shaken up. Might run out of time before it happens, but Tom Pritchard and Shane Roffey back on it. And, well, we saw Shane Roffey and Pritchard having a good battle before the pit stops and really dicing it out with each other. Get the feeling that Roffey is putting all the pressure on Pritchard at the moment, but Pritchard is going to be driving the widest Mustang in the world. It's not going to be easy to get past that car. And, well, if they make a little mistake, Greg Spencer's sitting right behind them, ready to pounce.
Once again, these are two cars that have been around each other pretty much all race as well, the two orange cars. We just saw Roffey get a little bit loose there on the exit, or a little bit, what's the term for road racing? Oversteer? Oversteer. I'm saying like I automatically go straight to loose, and it's like, can't remember what it used to be in our terms. Yeah, oversteer.
Yeah, it's the opposite of push, it's that thing, that one. No, what's going on? We do too much over racing, it's ruined our brains.
Yeah, we just know push and tight. Forgotten about understeer and oversteer. But yeah, they've been around each other pretty much all race, so it's been really good to see.
Yeah, they've been going really, really well. Well, we're coming up, actually, 46 seconds remaining. We are getting very close to the finish of tonight's race. So things are coming to a close here, and Craig Roffey has done a fantastic job out front, and it's getting let past there very nicely by Marty Mitchell.
We might see the white flag out this time.
Will we sit out this time or next time? Could get an extra lap here. It's going to be close. 11 seconds to go. White flag is out.
Yep, he's waving it.
Good. That's good news for some drivers, not for others. So that could be crucial for the drivers trying for a single stint. So that could be the difference between making it home and not making it home. But it is the final lap here as we head up the S's for the final time with Craig Roffey, and another really good race for the Rogue Sim Sports driver. It's been a really good season for this team. They missed the first race, of course, but since then they have been absolutely on it.
It's definitely the car to beat, that's for sure, on these road courses.
Yeah, it is really, really strong out there and putting in some really good results, which is, again, one of those things we like to see for our drivers. And, it's just been, Craig's been strong on the ovals, of course, as well. But, put him in his natural habitat and it's like a duck to water. It just works, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. They just get back into there and without even thinking about it, they just pick it up straight away where they left off.
And as we head up through turn number 9 for the final time tonight, and just a few corners left for Craig Roffey to take victory 2 for 2 on the road courses. Can he make it 3 for 3? That's going to be the hard part. It's going to be Spa next time up for the road courses. But for tonight at Watkins Glen, may not be his favourite track, but it might be now. Craig Roffey takes victory for Rogue Sim Sports. Gary Wellman's going to come home in P2. crossing the line in the Mean Green Machine. Back on the podium again. Really consistent season for Wellman. Darren McKenzie, he manages to beat the curse of the Southern Stars cars and comes home third for a podium. Solid run tonight. Tom Pritchard becomes the best orange car in fourth place, beating out Shane Roffey by not very much at all. Greg Spencer comes home for Pinnacle ahead of Justin Whitcher, his teammate, in seventh. Kim Roffey makes it a third Rogue Sim Sports car in the top 10 in eighth position. Peter Madison comes home ninth, a really strong run from him. And Andy Barber just about limps home in 10th position ahead of his teammate Adam Malone. What could have been for Andy Barber a really tough run from him. Tim Blundell made it home on one stop, so he did do a single stop. Congratulations to him. He made up 5 positions in the race. A strong run from him. Biggest mover and shaker through the race was Justin Whitcher, up 10 positions. A strong result from himself. Tristan Koch bringing home the car. The 550 coming up to the line in 14th position. And he will be pretty chuffed with that run, making up 4 spots in the race, making it home inside the top 15. And I think Adam Ariel will be our final runner out there. And he is indeed, as he crosses the line in 20th position. But it is the tale of the green cars tonight, as Roffey and Wellman come home first and second. Craig Roffey taking victory here tonight at Watkins Glen. I am sure he's going to be stoked about that one. And, well, just Spa to go for him now on the road courses to see if he can do the triple.
I'm sure he'd be pretty keen on doing the sweep of the road courses.
Very, sort of a mix of both tracks we've been to already, Spa. It's a very, very daunting place. I'm looking forward to seeing these cars absolutely fanging it around Spa-Francorchamps. Always a great track, but Craig Roffey brings it to the line and he's going to have enough tyre left to do some burnouts as well. Fastest lap as well as pole position for Craig Roffey. He absolutely took out the maximum amount of points you could. So, another road course done and dusted, Matt. Another good race, though, under our belts.
Yeah, really good to see competitive racing all amongst the field, really. You know, these guys are all normally sort of racing on ovals, so it's a little bit foreign for them racing on these road courses in this car. So, but yeah, it's good to see them adapting to it pretty well and having some strong runs from some people. You wouldn't have thought they would have been having good strong runs up there, but they managed to get up there.
Absolutely, it's always good to see some of our oval racing familiar names having a really good run on the road course as well. Always a pleasure to see that one. Let's run through the finishing order one last time tonight. It's Craig Roffey taking victory ahead of Gary Wellman, Darren McKenzie in third, Tom Pritchard fourth, Shane Roffey in fifth, Greg Spencer comes home sixth, Justin Whitcher in seventh, biggest mover of the night up 10 spots. Kim Roffey comes home eighth, making it a Rogue Sim Sports. All 3 Rogue Sim Sports cars inside the top 10. Peter Madison comes home 9th, and Andy Barber comes home 10th, or limps home in 10th spot. Adam Malone in 11th, Chris Finlay 12th, Todd Maxfield 13th, 14th for Tristan Koch. Marty Mitchell comes home in 15th. Tim Blundell made it on a single tank of fuel. One stop, I should say. One stop for Tim Blundell makes it home in 16th. Joshua Maynard 17th, 18th for Troy Davison, Brian Blundell 19th. Then it's Adam Ariel, Shay Mello, Noddy Tompkins, Aidan Schultz, Andrew Carr, and Cade Donnelly out early doors. So we'll wait for the drivers just to get comfortable and just lurk up into the drivers' press room while they celebrate with their champagne and all the fun stuff they get to celebrate with. Just so you all know as well, we will not be here next week. We've got 2 weeks off after this. Of course, it's a long weekend, and then, of course, it's the Bathurst 1000 on October the 8th, so we're taking a little bit of time off for that one. But we will be back with you on October the 15th at Auto Club Speedway. So a little bit of off time for a couple of weeks. Everybody can take a bit of a breath. But then we will be back in full action Alrighty, let us bring up our third place finisher for 7 stars. And let's start with the interviews with Mr. Darren McKenzie. Darren McKenzie, welcome to the booth, mate. Congratulations on P3 here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Good evening.
A eventful race. You were trying. First of all, let's start off with your strategy. You tried something a little bit different, coming in a little bit earlier than the rest of the field. Were you trying to sort of get some clean road for yourself, trying to avoid some traffic there?
No, after last week, I just basically didn't care about the race at all. I just went out there and did my own thing. I knew it was going to be a two-stopper, so I just tried to divide it into thirds basically and see where I dropped at the end.
Well, for not caring too much, you did very well indeed. It was a decent run out there, but obviously a tough moment coming out of pit lane for yourself and Andy Barber, your teammate. That looked like it cost you a fair bit of time, as well as Andy, of course.
Yeah, Andy got the raw end of that deal. I think Noddy moved low for some reason. I don't know whether he's trying to let the car behind him through or he got a bit loose, but he comes straight down on Andy and basically destroyed his car. And I got a little slowed up, but yeah, it didn't really affect me besides that.
That's it. Yeah, you got a bit loose, unfortunately. Precisely the wrong time where you don't want to get loose when a car is coming out of the pit lane. Obviously, that's not what you want to have happen. But as recoveries go in that respect, it wasn't a poor night for the team.
No, I think we all in the top 10 for the team points, so that's a good thing. And just a good all top 11 for all four of us, so that's really good.
Absolutely. Look, it's never a bad thing when that happens. I mean, on a road course as well, it's a very different style of racing, of course. Sometimes you sort of you lean towards a little bit yourself there as well.
It's road course can be a lonely run sometimes. Like most of the race there, I was driving by myself, so I knew I couldn't match Roffey or Wellman. So I think Andy would have had my number 2 if he didn't get collected. So that's unlucky for him because I think he's doing really well in the points this season too.
Absolutely. Look, well, hopefully it's going to be some better results next time out. So we get a couple of weeks to relax, take a bit of a breather, and then come back fighting hard. And hopefully we can see some better results and a little bit of better luck for you guys in the future. And hopefully see you creeping up the Drivers' Championship, but also in the Teams' Championship.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, before I let you go, Darren, the usual thing, the love, the shout-outs to sponsors and people in general. Go for it, mate.
You guys for the broadcast, the league for putting on the race each week, and team sponsors. We got Mrs. XL Garage, Tiana Holiday Park, and RBI Trading Cards. And all the guys at the team put in the hours, practice, and like you said, the luck's got to change. So hopefully after the Bathurst break, we'll be back there at the top.
Absolutely. You just got to stop walking in front of those black cats, Darren. Congratulations, mate. Always good to have you in the booth. Hopefully we're going to see you back here in the near future.
Thank you.
Darren McKenzie there for 7 stars, coming home in 3rd place tonight. Next up is that Mr. Consistency at the moment for Simboys, the consistent 45, Gary Wellman. Gary, welcome back to the booth, mate. Congratulations on P2 here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. I think I said to you last week you won't see me this week, but surprised myself tonight.
You made a liar of yourself. I mean, you can't even do badly on a road course. What's going on?
Yeah, improved a bit from Phillip Island. I've got to admit I did do a couple of sneaky laps through the week just to make sure I could stay on the track. But I put it together tonight. It was good.
Absolutely. You had some really good pace out there tonight. And we also saw some really good racing as well from yourself and a few other cars out there, as well as a little bit of door banging.
Yeah, it was a bit. I had to get the elbows out a bit early, and I thought if I can get into a bit of clear air, that'll help. And maybe even see if I can tack onto the back of those first couple. But they'd sort of got away a bit, but I was hoping they might start a bit of a battle and let me back into the race. But Craig had other thoughts there, I think.
Yeah, he makes it hard on these road courses, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, 10 seconds off him, that's a win for me.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, as you said, this is probably one of those bogey tracks, as well as probably Spa coming up as well. But if you can keep getting on the podium on these road courses, I mean that's a good sign as well for the championship.
Yeah, I think so. It's yeah, I'm looking okay this season, but I think the points reset that'll shake it all up again. So we'll just have to tread water until then and turn on a few good races at the end.
Absolutely. Look, fingers crossed. It all goes well, and probably not going on holiday is going to help.
Yeah, you won't let me forget that, will you?
No, not at all. Look, congratulations to that, Gary. Bit of a tough night for the team, though. We saw we saw a bit of a moment between Cade and Troy, unfortunately, during the race, and I imagine those probably were your points cards for the race tonight.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we didn't do ourselves any favours there. I don't know what happened, but might go and have a bit of a look after. But yeah, these things happen. So yeah, I think we're going okay still in the teams championship. So we'll just try and get back on the ovals and get back to doing what we do there.
Absolutely. Look, best of luck for the future. Enjoy the next couple of weeks off. But before I let you go, the shout out to the people, the sponsors. Go for it, mate. You've earned it.
Yeah, cheers, Carl, Sim boys. Yeah, next week it'll be actually be fun. We're all heading to Bathurst, or most of us are anyway. So yeah, if anyone's at Bathurst, come and say good day. But yeah, otherwise, United Electrical, Hot Toddys, heating installs, and as always, you guys for the awesome broadcast, and yeah, ASE for putting on the racing every Sunday night. We love it.
Is Bathurst ready for the Sim Boys? That is the question. I dread to think what's going to happen up there. Look, enjoy yourself for that weekend, mate. I hope everybody has a great time. We'll keep an eye out, see if we can spot any Sim Boys on the cameras, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, cheers, Carl. We do have a racing sim set up, ready to go for it. So yeah, she's on. There's no yeah, no letting up for that. So that'll be a bit of fun. And yeah, congrats, Craig, on the win, and Darren for third as well tonight. That was good racing.
Always good, Gary. Thank you so much, and we'll chat to you again in the near future, mate.
Thanks, mate. See ya.
Gary Wellman there for the Sim Boys. And finally tonight, for Rogue Sim Sports. Well, he came into this race a little bit not so confident, because it was Watkins Glen, a track that he says he doesn't like. Maybe this has changed his mind. It is Craig Roffey. Craig, welcome back to the booth, mate. Congratulations on a very solid victory here at the Glen.
G'day, Carl. Yeah, it's good to be back. 2 weeks in a row, so doing good.
I know it's been a very good season for you guys. It's been, other than missing one round, but it's been a really strong run of races for you guys. And look, Victory Lane has been almost a second home for you.
Yeah, I was just looking at the standings. Apart from missing round one, that'll make it 4 out of 5 races on the podium with 3 wins. So starting to trying to catch Gaz on the wins for the season, but I don't think that can happen.
It's being in a green car. That's what does it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
You fooled everyone with the green camouflage. It's worked out well so far. I mean, look, we said you were the odds-on favourite coming into this race on the road courses. We know you're strong, but you did say Watkins Glen was kind of one of those tracks that you're just a little bit unsure of. You looked like you absolutely had it set up though tonight.
Nah, not at all. I just couldn't put a lap down in practice. I was just trying too hard to catch Gaz's lap. But yeah, and then I went and had a look at it, and he was in the draft. So yeah, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, I don't know, it didn't feel right. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, we got there in the end.
Well, it wasn't a comfortable night for yourself by the sounds of it, but you did set the fastest lap, so that's always a nice feeling.
Yeah, by I don't know, halfway through, I started to get into the groove, and then on my last pit stop, I thought I'm going to go for it, just so no one else can try and get the fastest lap, and then yeah, I beat my fastest lap again, and then yeah, got a clean sweep, 0 incidents, most laps, and yeah, in the victory.
Always a good thing to have, absolutely. Look, just quickly on tyres, we saw everybody keeping on the set they started with by the looks of things. They weren't falling off too bad.
Nah, not really. As long as you were easy on the throttle, they were all right. Fronts little bit depending on like how fast you turn it in and whatnot. But nah, it wasn't too bad. The track was reasonably cold, so yeah, not too bad on the tire deg.
Look, that always helps it out. Obviously, next road course is going to be Spa. How do you feel going to, the fantastic Spa-Francorchamps?
I don't like Spa. There's too many off track. I don't know how do you say it? Too many places to get off tracks. It's just I do not like it at all. But yeah, we'll put some practice in and see how we go.
Well, you said you weren't looking forward to Watkins Glen, and see what you did here. So it's all the pressure on you for Spa. We look forward to that one, Craig. Look, congratulations tonight, and also to this solid season. Fingers crossed we're going to keep it up for the rest of the races. Of course, a couple of weeks break now, so you get to relax a little bit. So enjoy that. But before I let you go, the usual thing: the love, the shout out to the people out there, and of course, anybody that wants to sponsor Rogue Sim Sports, they should really look at sponsoring them because they tend to get a lot of airtime.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get some sponsors on, but yeah, first most the guys in the league for putting it on. We wouldn't be here without them. You guys in the broadcast always do a awesome job. I'll be watching the replay tomorrow. All the other teams for showing up, and last but not least, the boys at Rogue Sim Sports. Yeah, no, that's it.
Absolutely, and a good job as well from the team tonight, because we did mention that all of the cars inside the top 10 again.
Yeah, hopefully that's depending on, I don't know how the points work, but yeah, should be another team victory, I think.
Absolutely. Look,
If not second, anyway.
Yeah, it's been a solid effort, no matter what. Congratulations tonight, Craig. Enjoy your celebration, and I'm sure we're going to see you back in the booth in the very near future.
Looking forward to it, Carl. Cheers.
Craig Roffey there for Rogue Sim Sports, taking the win. Well, it's been a regular thing for Craig this season. He's doing the Gary Wellman, Matt.
Yeah, not surprising to see another green car dominating up the front and getting all the wins. It seems to be a thing in the series with the green cars.
If you want to win in the series, make sure you paint your car green. That's all we can say.
It gives you a better chance. Yeah, odds on more favourite to get the win if you're driving a green car. Yeah, so it's between Gary and Craig. They win a lot in green cars.
Obviously, the biofuel, it's given them a couple of extra horsepower. Look, a big thank you tonight for everybody for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this. We raced around Watkins Glen for round number 6 of 11. As I said, it's going to be a couple of weeks off here for the V8s and the Australasian Supercar eSeries, brought to you by my Private Cellars, of course. But we will be back with you in 3 weeks' time, of course, and we look forward to seeing you there. But of course, if you want to catch some more racing action, we have the ANSCAR Cup on Thursday night, where we will be racing at Talladega. We're off to the Super Speedway in the playoffs, and well, as we know, lottery on the Super Speedway. So who knows who can come out of that one with a victory and find themselves locked in to the final 4. We hope you can join us there for that, and we hope you've enjoyed this broadcast here tonight on Performance eStreaming. I'm as ever Mr. Carl Wilkinson with you, and of course Mr. Matt Hunter doing all the hard work in the background. We're going to wish you a very good night. We'll see you back here soon.